right, welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies might have inspired it. And today on the show, we are live from Galaxy Theatres Boulevard Mall to talk about the new Steven Spielberg movie, Disclosure Day. We had a great time over there at Galaxy Theatres, a great crowd, lots of fun conversation to be had. Joining me for this one on the panel, we've got Steven Hughes, Carolyn Luckett, and H Gwinn. Really fun conversation coming up here in a second. I will say I had some technical issues with my equipment, but luckily my camera was recording, so the sound quality isn't quite what it usually is, but we still got the whole show. So that's coming up here in a second. Before we get to it, I want to remind you, as always, to make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever you listen to podcasts, and follow us on social media at Piecing Pod, where you can find out about everything that we've got going on as far as live shows, regular episodes, and everything else going on with Piecing It Together. And with that said, let's talk Disclosure Day. All right, so I'm David Rosen, the host of the Piecing It Together podcast. We're going to talk about Disclosure Day and reveal the truth to everybody. But first, I want to introduce my panelists. Steven, introduce yourself to everyone. Tell everybody what you do.
Hey, everyone. My name is Steven. I'm just a huge movie nerd. Love talking about movies, and Spielberg is my favorite director.
There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely. Carolyn, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Carolyn Luckett. I am a stand-up comedian and producer, and also a big, huge Spielberg fan. And thank you, Steven, for telling me about this movie. At our last Piecing It Together podcast, we were discussing it.
Yes.
And I'm here. So listen.
There you go. Got it. And Robert, introduce yourself.
Now that Carolyn's made me feel so at home, but she missed the dress code. I think we've got it.
I couldn't find my Jaws t-shirt.
I
swear I would have worn it.
I am Robert Gwinn, and I'm a filmmaker and a screenwriter and an independent physicist. So working on some stuff right now. So it's your show, David.
Yeah, well, I feel like between this panel, we're going to get into some interesting stuff here, but also anytime we're talking Spielberg, we're going to get into some interesting stuff. So let's go around the room really quick. I mean, obviously some of our t-shirts are giveaways, but real quick before we start getting into the puzzle pieces, favorite Spielberg movie? I'll start with Jurassic Park just right off the bat. But where are you at, Steven?
It's probably E.T. for me.
Okay, cool. What about you, Carol?
Hands down, it's Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
There we go.
Thank you.
I'm with Carolyn. When I was a kid, Close Encounters was the film that I saw in the theater. When you see that ship come over Devil's Tower, how can you not just...
Yes.
I was like, yes, I want that.
And speaking of inspiration, it's probably inspired like generations of filmmakers. As soon
Not
as
just filmmakers, special effects artists,
Sure.
and even scientists. I mean, people that have gone out to do that kind of research.
Yeah.
And as some of us I know that I've talked to are UFO experiencers. So
we're going to get into some of that later for sure. So I'm very much looking forward to hearing some. I want to get through the puzzle pieces really quick so we can do some of that. But so for anyone who hasn't listened to Piecing It Together before, what we do is we talk about a movie through the lens of what movies might have inspired it. Sometimes TV shows, books, other kind of things like that. And so we're going to go through a few rounds of puzzle pieces here. I'm going to kick it off with the X-Files. I feel like this is like a feature length, like getting into revealing the truth about everything, all of the government conspiracies, all of the people that seem crazy, but then they have all these interconnected answers to things. There were some X-Files movies to varying degrees of success, but also the show, of course. Any X-Files fans here? Anybody thinking about that? Obviously, with what you taled about earlier.
Chris Carter wished he could have done something like this, though.
Sure, absolutely. I think this is kind of the best case scenario of what an X-Files movie could have looked like. Really, I mean, I agree. Yeah,
I think X-Files Fight the Future was the best way an X-Files movie could
really,
look, honestly.
Big fan of that one? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the second one, and then we'll talk about this one as we go.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So we're kicking it off with X-Files, but let's get into some more stuff. Steven, what do you got first?
So what I wanted to try to do was use only Spielberg movies, but his non-alien movies.
Okay, sure.
So I'm going to go with Duel. at first. There's a scene where the truck driver is rammed into Dennis Weaver's car and trying to get him into the train.
Yes.
And that was exactly what happened in this.
That is a great pull there, and this movie is kind of a series of chases. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, it's just like a nonstop.
Most of his movies are chase movies.
They are really when it comes down to it, and Duel, it just goes all the way back to Duel, and that's where you can kind of find that DNA.
And that was his very first TV movie.
Yeah.
He done
We were talking about that the other day, and I mentioned it was Jaws driving a semi.
Yeah. Exactly. So no, great one to bring in here. Carolyn, let's go to you.
I'm going to go back to Close Encounters because I just absolutely love the movie. I've had a mad crush on Richard Dreyfuss since I was 10 years old.
I'm sorry.
And I know. I talked to my therapist about it. It's okay.
It didn't work.
Richard's okay with that, actually. But, I just see a lot of parallels in all of his movies. And the one thing I did discuss with my fiance, who resembles Richard Dreyfuss, but there's this.
I think she has a type.
I do. There's this thread. There's this honest-to-God thread that I see as a mother. He always uses children in these movies.
Sure.
And I think the reason behind that is children are honest and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And you can see the movie through their eyes and their vision. Yeah. And I, again, saw it at the very end of the movie, of course. And it's just brilliant. He's just the masterful maker of movies, what can I say?
Yeah.
And also, he must have an issue with Indiana because in Close Encounters, they are in Indiana for a great majority of the movie, and the same here with this one, with Disclosure Day. So
a lot of stuff happens in Indiana.
I guess so.
Didn't happen when I was there.
I've never been. So.
Both of you mentioned Close Encounters as your favorite. So how do you
most
feel about?
Inspiring, I think, more than favorite.
How do you feel about this though, as a kind of pseudo follow-up in a way?
I wish they had leaned more into it. Actually, I wish this had been a direct sequel to Close Encounters as opposed to trying to stand on its own. I think that the structure, we needed a little more history early on to make me personally feel for the characters.
Gotcha.
We were dropped in so suddenly. For me, it was kind of abrupt. I didn't really care what happened to these people. I don't know about you, but I was interested to find out what they were going to disclose, but then they didn't disclose it till the very end of the movie. So it was like,
Okay.
So it's more like disclosure penultimate day.
Sure.
The day before disclosure.
Yeah. Well, let's go to your first piece. What do you got?
My first piece?
Yeah, your first puzzle.
My tie-ins?
Yeah.
Again, to me, it had those elements of Spielbergian political thriller, more almost than science fiction. I think I've already addressed just now the slow beginning. I thought they could have pushed us into some structure a little quicker.
Yeah.
As far as inspirations, though, I agree your X-Files thing. But it had a lot of the J.J. Abrams influence, I think. The Super 8 kind of vibe.
Super 8, yeah.
Lots of flair. Did you notice the lens flares back?
Yeah. Lens flares back. Yeah.
So that was, I think, Super 8.
I'll take lens flare if the film is lit like this.
Oh, yeah, no, it's good. No, yeah.
Anymore, so.
But it does, sometimes I find it funny because it's natural if the camera happens to catch a light on set.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
But to do it intentionally is kind of
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, don't throw it in just because it looks pretty. If it's a natural effect, then it's great. But I hate when I see it digital and I recognize it's not a natural lens flare.
Yeah, I could see that.
So those are things that take me out of it for a moment. To try too hard to impress me with the lighting, instead of the substance of the story.
Well, I will go for my next piece to, I don't want to bring in an actual superhero movie because I'm so happy to not be talking about movies right now. But a pseudo indie superhero-ish movie called Midnight Special from Jeff Nichols.
Yes.
Good movie, right? This is a movie about a guy who finds out that his son is kind of showing signs of some kind of power of some sort and has to go on the run from the government, basically, who want him and they want to experiment on him and stuff like that. There's a lot of kind of ties between these two. I felt that movie when it came out was heavily inspired by J.J. Abrams and Super 8 and stuff like that. So I think it all kind of ties around together.
Well, again, we were talking about that earlier. There's no such thing as unbiased media. We see something, we're influenced by it, and it projects through our work and through our art and through our humor, and that's just the way culture works. It's not like we're like Spielberg is going, well, let's steal from Super 8 and let's steal from Close Encounters. First of all, he had a great deal to do with those movies, so it's
Sure.
not really stealing. But
Yeah.
but there's nothing that isn't derivative of something
Yeah, exactly.
in our society today. So
That's why we love doing this.
that's why we love this,
Yeah.
because we can go, oh, it looks like this and it sounds like that.
Yeah,
So
I know.
there's always that.
Well,
part
let's go
of
to
it.
Stephen.
I almost want to say Take Shelter after the midnight
Yeah.
special, but
I love that movie.
I'm gonna go with The Post. With
Okay, keeping
suppressing the truth.
keeping with
Yeah, we were
Spielberg.
talking about that earlier.
Trying to. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard, but trying to.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that entire movie, The Post, was
I
trying to stop
totally
the Pentagon Papers.
Yeah.
And they're trying to stop Disclosure Day.
Yeah, I told David the Post and Super 8
Yeah.
together would be this movie.
There you go. Yeah. So, and I think it definitely fits really well. And all of the ways that they try to make someone seem crazy is make it seem like people don't want the truth. You know, all those kinds of things, and like that's something that's huge on this movie's mind.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that it was the nun that was the most accepting of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did like that.
Yeah. No, that was definitely a cool aspect of this movie. Carolyn, let's go to you.
Well, I was going to say The War of the Worlds, if
Okay.
you all remember that movie.
I love that
Very on the
movie.
nose, though, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But after seeing this, I'm really thinking of The Sound of Music, because the nuns were like totally hiding people again.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what that's about, but I do believe in God for what it's worth. And I had someone ask me in the restroom if I still believed in God after seeing this movie. I said, yeah, even more so.
You had a whole other podcast.
I swear to God, my podcast's coming in 6 months, I tell you. But yeah, being I don't want to say theologian, but I did teach religious education for a number of years as a Catholic. And yeah, I wasn't expecting the whole religion thing to come up at all in this movie. But it did.
Yeah.
And it does make you think, have we lost our faith in God, or have we lost our faith in humanity?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
And I love that about the ending as well, that like, you know, we get these shots of the reveal, we get people's like initial reaction, and then it's just like, we don't know exactly how it's all going to go. We have to either have faith in people or not.
Well, I think the last line was the most poignant one in the whole movie when she just said, listen.
Sure. Yeah.
Listen.
Absolutely.
The frequency's there. We just got to start listening to it.
There you go. Let's go to another one over there.
Another puzzle piece?
You got it.
Oh.
I know you got some sci-fi movie up your sleeve to talk about.
You know, again, as an overall film person, not just sci-fi, you know, it's like you watch something like this and you look for those threads, but this one was a little harder to do that with. I think it wasn't as obvious where those influences were coming from. And again, the pacing was such that it made it a little harder to pinpoint. I was looking for Easter eggs, and I just didn't see any. And that's usually Spielberg's thing, is planting stuff all over the place. And I'm looking. Where's R2-D2? Where's TT? You know, where's a model of something from one of his other movies? And it just didn't happen. And I was really kind of surprised. Not that I was necessarily disappointed in it, but I was kind of surprised that it didn't have that vibe that most of Spielberg's. You're waiting for that stare, that. You know, the Jurassic Park stare.
The wonder.
He did it. Oh my God. You know, and we never got that in this movie. It was kind of maybe over expectation on my part, but I really wanted that from this one because it's been so long since we've had that from Spielberg.
Yeah. Wow.
That sense of wonder again. Most of his films have been more political thrillers and action type driven films lately. And for tonight, I was really hoping to have another E.T. moment, another Close Encounters moment. And I just didn't feel it tonight like that. As far as connective tissue, tons of it all over the place. I mean, there was elements not just of X-Files and his other films, but certainly the War of the Worlds aspects, not his version, but the original classic version. When they're in the house and they're kind of moving through that abandoned house they were in, the camera angles and stuff definitely were leaning into the old 1950s War of the Worlds.
I think that's really fun too, like for him to have made his own and then to be like, well, I'm also going to
And still
try
pay
some
tribute,
so
those homages are in there.
love it.
And I was glad to see the homages were kind of hidden throughout, but I would like to have them more up front.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll go for one more. Let's see. I'm going to go with, I got a few different things written down here. I'm going to go with The Faculty As far as like, it's either
It's a bit of a
teachers-
stretch.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's either
It's a bit of a
teachers-
stretch.
Yeah, a little bit, but you got either teachers or you have the government that is.
I would have
kind
liked
of-
that kind of action in this one.
Well, sure. That definitely not as much of an action.
Can we have a
like
prom
chase.
scene?
Yeah, we could have gotten some action with them, but definitely with the idea of everything's being kind of taken over by aliens, and in this case, though, they happen to have some better intentions.
The interesting thing in this one was they weren't really taking over. They were just tagging a few people with information that they could then spread and propagate.
Yeah, they're kind of like they're creating some advocates on Earth, like, to kind of
hybrid advocates that are
help them
going
out and
to
stuff like that.
yeah,
So
help bridge the gap.
let's go to you, Steven.
All right, so we already talked about chase movies.
Mhm.
His whole career is chase movies. I'll go with Saving Private Ryan with the loss of faith in humanity.
Okay.
Especially after that one guy kills Tom Hanks,
Mhm.
and then the guy that had let him go, he's like, I don't give a shit anymore. You're dead. Boom. He lost faith in humanity.
At this point, I think Schindler's List, and I don't know what else we're going to get into this one. But, yeah, I love it though. I think that really makes a lot of sense with the characters and with that whole humanity angle of this. So I love it. It's really great to bring into here, and bringing in so much Spielberg in this conversation. So why not?
That's a movie.
Exactly. He's back on the same themes, and I mean that's what you do. You nail into those things and keep going on them. So
Play to your strengths.
exactly. Carolyn, let's go to one more.
Well, I would say Megan, which I know is
I love it.
probably not a total connection there, but the whole AI thing going on right now, the very thought of like having AI dolls or alien people wandering around just kind of blows my mind away. But it's so close to us. I don't think we realize how close that really could happen,
Yeah.
And wouldn't you love to be dressed up like an alien for Halloween? I think that would be
I
so
would.
great. It's just around the corner.
It's going to be all that and obsession this Halloween.
And
And
obsession.
it's
Yeah.
cool that you bring up AI because AI is
Another-
how many years old now?
More
20.
Spielberg.
Artificial
25,
intelligence, which
yeah.
was also a Spielberg film.
Yeah.
And that was way ahead of our current state of AI that we have today. And that's another one that's great to look back on and say, look how it parallels today.
Yeah.
And then again, I like the comparison because at the end of AI, you had the aliens keeping the child in a contained room.
Yeah.
It looked like they were building the same kind of setup in the studio in this movie. And I was like, well, maybe that's the progression. Maybe AI is actually a sequel to this as opposed to this being a sequel to Close Encounters.
That's interesting. Very, very interesting. A lot of connections to be made here. I do want to get to a bunch of various audience participation. First up, we always ask for any puzzle pieces. Did anybody think of anything we haven't brought up? Right
I
away?
thought a lot of this was already explored in the signs.
Signs.
Like
yeah.
religion versus aliens
Yes.
was explored there. Exposing the alien in the video was done in that movie already. And exploring how signs remain in the grass, and we had that moment in here.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there was a lot in there.
Right back there.
It's a real stretch. I mean, you got to pull the pieces apart real well.
All right.
But all of the government chase things going on, Pelican Brief just
Oh.
fell into my head.
Pelican Brief. Yeah.
Good call.
Also, to John Williams' score, who amazing that we're getting to hear him, but it felt very throwback. It felt very like from that particular era when Pelican Brief came out. So I could see like definitely like the vibe of the whole thing, kind of having that as well. So right here,
Mother.
Mother,
Oh.
the Darren Aronofsky movie. Let's hear some more about that.
So I guess, I don't know if you call her the protagonist. I mean, I guess there's two protagonists in the movie.
Sure,
kind of.
yeah.
So her whole kind of reveal going in a spiritual direction, or possibly, I was wondering if the two of them are supposed to be like Adam and Eve.
I was wondering that too because there's obviously a lot of like
That's a good
religious
parallel. Yeah.
undertones.
So I think, and then also how the one dude, the good guy,
Dang.
told them it was always you. It was
Oh,
always
yeah.
you two.
Oh,
Yeah. Absolutely.
And what they're
it was
going to
always them. Since,
Yes,
Yeah, all
yes.
the way back. So,
Anybody
yeah.
remember what that dude's name was? The black dude?
Coleman, Domingo.
Hugo.
Hugo. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, great character, by the way. I liked that character.
Yeah.
And
I
then
liked the performance.
also Back to the Future, well, specifically Back to the Future 3, the chase scene,
Oh, yeah.
really reminded me so much of that
I just
scene.
watched that this afternoon.
That one, 3?
Nice.
So did you think of it?
I did. It crossed my
Kinda?
mind just for a
Yeah.
second, but I went, nah.
But the chase,
Love it.
but the whole series, the trilogy of Back to the Future movies, like the whole chase
Yeah.
Like it really had that kind of vibe.
Love
And
it.
it works perfect because
And it was
Spielberg
so
produced
fun.
them.
Yep,
Yeah.
Spielberg
Yeah,
produced those. So.
and they're fast.
6
and
degrees
Great.
of Spielberg.
Yeah.
Every movie.
Back there, you guys.
I can do 60 degrees of Richard Dreyfuss. You can send The Graduate, Graffiti. I'll just keep going.
Oh, yeah.
3 months from now, she goes, and that's how I know it.
Right up there.
I just noticed this scene near the end when the little girl goes into the little house which is the alien spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
It's a direct copy of the last scene in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Very
When
close.
the astronaut goes into the thing,
Yeah.
and you see the old furniture, he's laying in a bed. You hear the heavy breathing through his mask.
Sure.
Yeah, Borman's
The music
hospital room.
even sounded like 2001.
Or bed.
Love it.
Oh, and one more thing.
Yes.
The little hand things that they were holding seemed like a little miniature version of the monolith from 2009.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and, you know, Spielberg's influence from Kubrick, never going to stop. So let's go up there first, and then we'll end with you, Mom.
I've got one that I'm going, why did I not see this earlier? The animals. Right? You're looking at the animals, the fourth kind, it was the owl.
Oh, sure, sure.
Here it was deers and cardinals for some reason.
They play with that a little bit in Stephen King's Dreamcatchers, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I'll just throw a little bonus puzzle piece in. Contact, you know, present
Yes,
themselves. You know,
yes.
so-
Also had the religious.
yeah, and the religious.
And that's probably the easiest leap to make from this movie.
Yeah,
It's probably
100%.
Contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mom, quickly, because then we got to
Okay,
get to
because I don't have a puzzle piece.
Of course.
The house was in the 50s. She was born in the 80s. I saw an Atari console.
It was a Nintendo.
It was Nintendo. I thought it was Atari because I used to play Breakout. The only scene that was relevant to me was when she was looking at a group of people and saying their names or whatever.
The only scene that was relevant.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I thought of Alanis Morissette from Dogma. I thought maybe that was
Look at that,
was
you
my
found
one
something
connection.
good, Mom.
Oh, but I have another connection.
That's a long thing. That's a long
Dogma. And the other thing is, I know Steven has probably got a couple of biographies, if not an autobiography out there, and you're not going to know who I'm talking about, and it will stay anonymous, but a father of a friend of yours from your preteen days used to run into him all the time at AA meetings.
Mm.
So I'm assuming he had moved on to very, very hard drugs after that.
Why is she not sitting up here on a microphone, David?
We know what he needs. You got something real quick right there?
One thing that I don't know if this is going to throw you off, but when they were doing the children having their probing happening, I guess was happening.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky.
Yeah.
But it'll.
There are certain UFO
Yeah.
tropes you just almost can't avoid.
And the little monoliths that you were talking about, they reminded me of Fifth Element. Those little things that,
The stones.
Sure. The Stones, yeah, the Fifth Element. Right up
The
there.
shark.
Here's a movie that people don't talk about much anymore, but The Starman.
Starman's a great movie.
Yeah, because all the
again, the
empathy in
sphere.
there and everything.
You're talking about the spheres from Starman that he holds in his hand and
Yeah.
gives them out. Yep.
Love it. Right
Totally.
on. All right, let's go. One last one right there.
Okay, so the common message that I'm seeing in a lot of Spielberg films is the unity of humanity through compassion.
Yeah.
And that bridges beyond just humanity, but intelligent life, like Contact.
Sure.
Okay, so it goes into an energy level. But the one that really resonated with me was The Arrival.
Arrival, yeah.
2016.
Yeah.
That was very much this sort of message.
There's
Absolutely.
Charlie Sheen, right?
No, that's the.
I'm thinking of the other one.
Yeah,
Right.
this is Amy
the
Adams.
other. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was one that I had on my list of things to possibly do. The aliens are coming to get me right now.
Do you all see that real bright light?
But that was what I was thinking about as well, and definitely, and plus with the communication angle and language and the all of that stuff, I think absolutely, I think that was on the mind here. So, so I've got some giveaways for anybody who chimed in, but I also have an awesome prize pack from the studio for the movie. I want to hear some of your stories that have to do with experiencing things like
Oh
this.
yeah, anybody got
And
it?
then we'll applaud for our favorite one at the end, and that's who's getting the prize pack. Let's
One more
start
piece.
right here. No, Mom.
Okay. So I don't want to be
No, Mom.
part
I'll
of
remember
the,
that.
I don't want to be a participant for the prize because
Okay.
I'm your wife.
Yes.
So
Not elephant.
when I was a little kid, I saw. Oh, this sounds crazy. Like
They all
Not
sound
in this
crazy.
room.
So,
But I
mean,
turned to Dave when the little girl in her bedroom and she saw the animals. When I was a little girl, I saw a wolf in my bedroom, and I wasn't sleeping or anything like that. I saw a wolf, and then another time I saw like little like orbs floating around in my room talking.
all right.
So that was my first like weird experiences
Love
I've had. But then as an adult, I've just living in Las Vegas. I have seen several UFOs.
Yeah, I feel like
Like
everyone
There's
here
a lot of lights in these skies.
has
Yes.
seen something. So let's go to another one right up there.
Okay, so I used to belong to a paranormal investigation team.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right.
And I went on a ghost hunt over at Calico Ghost Town.
Mhm.
And we went during the day, got a lot of readings and stuff. So I thought, we're going to come back at midnight and we're going to do this again at the cemetery. So we had to break into the cemetery because they had it all gated off and everything, no trespassing.
Sure.
And I'm sitting there with a full moon overhead, all my rigs, all my EMF detectors and shit. And I'm looking down going, is there anyone here? There's nothing. It's completely dead.
Yeah.
Seriously. And my friend goes, June, look. And I look up to see a blue-shaped football light go bing, 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 gone.
Yeah.
And it was above the clouds where you could see the reflection of the light from the backside of the clouds. So it was that low, but not high enough. And I was like, what the heck was that? We don't know. So the next day we went online and said, has anyone seen a blue-shaped football light? And there was a sighting of it that very same night over in Lake Tahoe, going straight across the sky. So I think as fast as that was going, it was probably the same one.
Yeah, I would think
Very
so.
possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else has one for us? Anybody else have
I
something
live
they
in Arizona when the lights occur, so I watched the sky turn into a giant black triangle with smoke around it. when I was a
black
young
triangle in the
Where was
sky?
this at?
Yeah, this was in Arizona. They had the,
What part?
the lights. It's in Phoenix.
In Phoenix
So
area.
Phoenix, Arizona had these lights that were sighted by
Yeah, I remember
everyone in the
that.
city.
I grew up in southern
What
Arizona.
year?
so-
This was in like 96 or
Yeah.
97.
Okay.
It was in the 90s, and I was outside when it happened. And when all the calls came in, we were outside watching the sky when it happened, and it spanned across from the north end of the town miles all the way to the south end of town, and it was a giant triangle that was black, and then around the edges of the triangle where it was a smoke. So it almost looked like you were looking at the sky. You couldn't see any stars, but outside the triangle, you could see stars. But the giant triangle that was above us, we looked up and we were like, "What is this?" And then just calls came in to everyone saying,
They
"There's
kind of
something
shot
happening."
that in
Yeah,
this with
they
that
showed
jet craft with the point coming out of the
Yeah,
clouds and then
right.
circling over with the
That's right.
with the big wedge
And the
shape.
little
Yeah,
lights, because there's 7 lights that happened in the sky. They showed it in the.
yeah. They used real accounts. And
Yeah,
real
I'm sure they used
documentation
lots
to
of
put
real
these
ones.
together. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a lot of real documentation that went into this.
Anybody else have one for us? Anyone going once, going twice? Mom, you've seen
Okay.
aliens?
Do you know how he named the company? His name is, it's Amblin.
Oh, you're talking about Steven Spielberg's company?
Amy
Yeah, Amblin
Irving
Entertainment.
was
Yes.
his first love. I don't know if they married or not. And AM stands for
Amy
Amy,
Irving,
and
yeah.
it's a combination of his name and hers.
That is chilling.
And she's an alien?
No,
Now, the story I heard about that
she made some
was
cute
that it
movies
was
back
the
in
name
the
of a
day.
short film
I don't even know if
back
she's
in-
alive. But that was
Anybody else
good.
have any kind of
I like it.
extraterrestrial story before we wrap up? Okay.
It turned out not to be extraterrestrial, but it was pretty cool. We
Okay.
were out doing the photo shoot at Lake Mead at around 3 o'clock in the morning. Super clear night, lots of stars. And a buddy of mine goes, hey, look at that. Single pinpoint of light moving in this very straight line
Yeah.
across the sky. About an hour later, darn thing comes back again. And he's like, you know what that is? I'm like, it's that damn UFO. He goes, no, it's a satellite.
Satellite. Pretty good
Here's another
satellite.
project. Yeah.
Ruining all of our fun.
So
All right, so let's get into some closing thoughts here, and then we're going to vote on our stories here at the very end. But Stephen, any closing thoughts before we wrap up?
I love this movie, and if it was John Williams' final score, one hell of a score to go out on.
Hell yeah,
Good score.
absolutely. How about you, Carolyn?
I would agree the musical score was great. I really enjoyed the movie. However, I wasn't expecting the ending to end the way it did. I'm not sure exactly what I was expecting, but I fully anticipate a part 2 coming.
Yeah, possibly. We'll see what happens. What about you, Robert?
I don't know if I'm expecting a part 2. I liked the second half of the movie very much. I thought once it established itself for what it was, then I was able to kind of go, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And I think once that took off, I was a little better, more into it. What hit me was my own personal UFO experience came out basically on screen in front of me. And if you can ask my friend John, I almost left the theater.
No. Wow.
Because when I was between, 7 and 10, I lived in Southern California in Ventura County with nothing but strawberry fields around me. And me and a young girl, about the same age as the kids in the movie, walked out. I even have storyboarded the whole thing out at one point. We went out there, we saw lights in the sky, spinning disc, bright light. Dad calls us back to the house, and 2.5 hours had gone by that we can't account for, that I couldn't account for.
Oh, wow.
And that stuck with me my whole life. So seeing these kids on screen freaked me out.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. Of all the things I didn't like about this movie, they nailed that part. And I was like, nah. Because I was just talking to people about it just this afternoon. And then the other part that got me was, and we'll talk about this off mic.
Sure.
I've been working on some stuff recently in just the past several months when they talk about that knowledge unlocking and that illumination. I went from being a screenwriter 6 months ago to working now on a paper on cosmology and physics about that thick of notes. That's totally new physics. And I don't know how to come to terms with that. So this kind of helped kind of bring it around and go, what happened to you as a child might have unlocked potential that we can't understand.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing really freaks me out because I'm just the dude. I'm just some random guy that shouldn't have more information than I was ever taught in school. Yeah. But here I am. I keep going to AI and going, hey, is this bullshit or what? And it's going, no, it makes more sense than current physics. It's like, it's weird when that stuff happens. And I think anybody's capable of that. Yeah. But you have to unlock it. You have to focus and you have to pick something that interests you, but then take it to that next level. Push yourself to find the answer yourself. Yeah. And and I don't want to be a hyper motivational speaker here all of a sudden because it's not what it's about. But the one thing this movie did say accurately to me is that we all have that potential within us to be better than we currently are. And I've proven that to myself over the last few months. Hopefully everyone in this room can experience that at some point in their life where they just feel like everybody called me stupid my whole life in school. And now I'm doing physics and the computer's going, what degree do you have? I'm like, none. I have a bachelor's in arts,
Love it.
And I think that kind of message is more important, that humanity, that ability to unlock our potential as humans, to fix the problems, not to create more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's really, for me, is the well of this movie. It's going to make me maybe come back to a rewatch where the film itself might not have.
Yeah. That's absolutely fair. I mean,
but props to John Williams again.
Yeah,
I agree totally.
Always.
Nice to hear at least one more piece from him. I went, isn't he like 1,000 years old now?
He's up there.
How old is he now?
90.
I know he's in his 90s, right? Yeah, I really didn't expect him to be on the credits for this one. I really thought, even though they've never done a movie without each other, I really wasn't expecting to see it. So it was great to see his name pop up.
Well, let's get into a quick round of applause for each of our stories that we had. So first of all, we've got the triangle one. I want to know who wants to vote for that one. Let's say, should his story count even though he's on the panel?
I don't want to take any.
She was good. I liked her.
All right, so we got a round of applause there. How about football light? We got light going back and forth. That turned out to not be
anything.
And we had childhood possible abduction.
When I get the movie made, come see it. That'll be enough. But they should get the prize.
Don't forget Richard Dreyfuss.
One more time between these two.
Okay.
Let's start with the triangle. Let's go to the football light.
I don't know.
I think football light gets it.
I mean, kind of a tie.
It's pretty close, but I think we had some woos, so that amped it up.
The woos.
So, hey, Mom, really quick.
One more story. You
Very,
remember
very quick.
downtown Gina did a a ghost thing? She might have stayed overnight.
Yes.
Yes.
And you did a thing, and I came down,
Yes.
and we had 2 pictures taken of us. One was the director of Reanimator. He photobombed us.
That's right.
And the other picture across my jeans leg, and I post it almost every year, is a white flashing light that came from like out of where? When you were on your
Why didn't you
ghost.
give your spooky story when we were doing the thing?
Oh, because I fell asleep.
Steve, where can people find you, or what do you want to plug?
You can find me on Instagram at j2h.life.
All right, right on. How about you, Carolyn?
Oh my goodness. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok under Krabby Lion Lady. I have a new Facebook page under Network Media called Carolyn Comedy Bomb. I will be doing the World Series of Comedy here in Las Vegas in September again, and maybe watching a Richard Dreyfuss movie somewhere. I don't know.
I don't know if Richard Dreyfuss made any of those kind of movies, sweetheart.
No. One team eats me, right?
Yeah, there you go. You're
A lot younger.
There you go. Robert, how about you?
Right now, you can find me basically just on Facebook. I don't really have a big media presence, but I do have a fan page for the current big, huge project I'm working on, which is the Timeliner trilogy and TV series based on books written in the 70s by an author named Richard C. Meredith. Not only did I contact the estate and get total permission to adapt the 3 novels, but I also got access to all of his books, and even got from the wife of him, Richard Meredith's wife, sent me an unpublished manuscript with his notes in it that I can do anything I want with.
Very cool.
So we've got a lot going on, not just my science work, but as a writer, as a storyteller. I'm developing the Timeliner trilogy for film and television, and anybody who wants to check that out can find the Timeliner trilogy fan page on Facebook. Let's support it.
Yes.
And we want to get the books back published into the public again because they've been out of print since 1980.
Hell yeah.
Richard died in 1979, 6 months before his novels were published. He never got to see them published.
Well, it's awesome that you're getting that stuff back out there.
That's where I'm at.
Absolutely. Well, we haven't announced our next live show yet, but hopefully we'll be back here at Galaxy Theatres Boulevard Mall. Let them know if you're enjoying it.
Too.
Yeah.
Let's thank them especially tonight because this almost didn't happen.
Yeah, this show almost fell apart, but they picked it up. So thank you to Galaxy Theatres Boulevard Mall, and thank you to all of you for hanging out with us tonight. That's our show.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, this is Wax Trax Records here on 2909 South Decatur. We buy all your old 45s, your old albums, any type of music memorabilia. Also, we sell music memorabilia, albums, CDs, and a lot. Come on down to Wax Trax, 2909 South Decatur, or give me a call at 702-362-4300. Thank you very much.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about Disclosure Day. Thank you to Carolyn Luckett, Steven Hughes, and Robert Gwinn for joining me on that one. And thank you to everyone who showed up to Galaxy Theatres. And, of course, thank you to Galaxy Theatres Boulevard Mall for having us out. And thank you to you for listening. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you're subscribed. We got a lot of episodes on the way right now. I think I have 5, maybe even 6 episodes already recorded that will be hitting the feed sometime soon. So make sure you are subscribed. You could also follow us on social media at Piecing Pod and join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, to continue the conversation about all of the movies we talk about here on the show. With that said, we're going to close this out with a piece of music like I always do. And let's see, I've got lots of spacey, alien-y, kind of things. You know what, though? Actually, my next album will be coming out. I've been saying this for like 2 years now. Will be coming out soon, but it is a very alien-themed album. It's called And Other Unexplained Phenomena, and maybe it'll be out by the end of the year. I'm not sure, but it's going to be out sometime whenever I happen to finish it. But I'm going to play you a preview from that album. Let's see, which song should I go with? I am going to go with a track called Invasion. It's very alien themed. So let's go with that, and we will be back with more Piecing It Together very soon.
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.